Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hi there. A quick look back on spring. March, April, and May together. This period was the warmest on record for Huntington by 0.8 of a degree. Elkins tying the previous record from 2012 and 2024. Charleston, not a new record, but tying the second warmest spring on record. The days ahead of us will continue to be hot. Highs consistently 5 to 10 degrees above daily average. The only thing limiting how hot we get is some rain on the way. Wet weather building in from the west up until 8 a.m. Thursday, dropping off as we go east. Now, there is a stationary front to our southwest this evening, gradually seeing scattered showers and thunderstorms move from southwest to northeast through the evening, overnight, and into Tuesday. So communities to the east may be dry until the afternoon on Tuesday. Then additional showers and storms moving from west to east through Tuesday evening, overnight, and Wednesday as well. Not anticipating severe weather, but heavy rain and localized flooding is possible. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. A lot of areas will similarly be seeing some hot, humid, and stormy conditions in the days ahead. D.C., a high of 96 on Thursday. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast, staying very mild overnight for Moundsville, a low 71, 89 here Tuesday. 86 Morgantown with some storms on the way. Going east for some cooler conditions overnight. Martinsburg 59 for a low, then upper 80s and low 90s for our Tuesday. Moorfield 91. Elkins 62 tonight. Looking toward Ripley and Parkersburg to hover around 70 for a low, and then some mid 80s here for our Tuesday. Marlinton, another cool spot with 59 for a low. Charleston 70 tonight, low to mid 80s in this part of the region for our Tuesday as well. Consistently very warm and active right now, trending with some dry conditions during the day on Saturday, but no cool down on the horizon.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I don't believe what I just saw. Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened-to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for Monday. We're back for another week, and what a weekend it was, and we've got a lot to get into tonight. Of course, West Virginia prepping for the College World Series. We got major news concerning Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby. He was ineligible. Now, according to a Texas judge, he's eligible to play, minus a 2-game suspension. So that's a crazy story out there today. And also the West Virginia State High School Baseball Championships, the Class AA quarterfinal round. The games are going on as we speak. So we'll get into all of that. Greg, good evening. Brad, good evening.
Good evening, all.
Good evening, fellas. Big week ahead, huh?
It is a big week. So we'll start with that, right? You're packed up and ready to go.
Ready to go. It's still hard to believe when you say it, and I don't know if it sinks in until you actually get out there and start to see the images of West Virginia and Omaha, but here you go. You've advanced on to your first ever College World Series with just what, Greg, was a dominant performance in the Super Regional after all the drama and all the miracles needed to get out of the regional, and you absolutely line up and just eviscerate this Cal Poly team, 29-3. Runs scored over the 2 games. Just an absolute no-doubter in either game. Didn't have to sweat any of it. These were both over early, and West Virginia's still playing and headed to Omaha, boys.
The only thing wrong with the super regional runs was you'd like to have saved a few of them, banked them for Omaha,
Sure.
because you had plenty from this weekend. But time has been announced. I don't think that had come out. We sort of speculated yesterday, Travis and I did on the Sunday show, of it was going to be a Friday game, and there was already some rumors out there it was going to be 2. Well, that has since been confirmed. 2:00 on Friday.
2:00 Eastern.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eastern. Good point.
Right. Yeah. And the complete field is set with some results today. So we knew the West Virginia portion of the bracket was West Virginia against Troy at 2:00, North Carolina against Ole Miss. That's 7:00 on Friday. And then if the weather holds, each of those 4 teams will play again on Sunday. The losers bracket game will be at 2:00, and then the winners bracket game will be at 2:00. And the other side, the other 4-team bracket is set. Oklahoma polished off its super regional win today. So it's Oklahoma against Alabama Saturday at 3:00, and Texas against Georgia at 8:00 on Saturday.
Yeah, so the way to look at this is it's 2 separate regionals in essence taking place. So it's the same format we just saw a couple weeks ago, double elimination. You've got to be the team that gets out of there with 0 or 1 loss, and you advance on then to what would be the final super regional, which is the championship series, best 2 of 3 from those 2 mini winners out of the tournament. So it's a long tournament potentially. If you win this thing, you're there for every bit of 10 days playing through 2 different weekends. So potentially a long event, and we hope West Virginia sticks around for quite a while. And listen, guys, you go into this, and listen, this is a stacked field again. There's some quality teams in this, but you also go into this, if you're West Virginia, thinking, all right, let's go, bring it on. You've got as good a starting pitching as there is. You've gotten great relief out of the bullpen. Your bats are all wide awake right now heading into Omaha. You're hitting 1 through 9 right now. We'll get into the 7 through 9 hitters again as we did on Friday night, but you're walking in as hot as any team in the country right now amongst 8 hot teams, right? You're not hot to get to Omaha. West Virginia, the way it finished up the season there, is as hot as anybody. So I think you walk in with Omaha feeling like, all right, let's roll. Let's keep playing.
Yeah, you've got some blue blood programs there in Texas and Georgia and Alabama and Oklahoma. It's been a few years since they've been back. But on your side of the bracket, you start with Troy. So again, you can't certainly look past what they've accomplished. They're a team that played very, very difficult schedule and had a great RPI. And then you deal with North Carolina, who you're familiar with from the super regionals in recent years, and Ole Miss. So you have to believe that West Virginia, that side of the bracket, perhaps is not as difficult as the other side.
Yeah, you take your swings, but, guys, when you look back at some of the historical numbers here, it just illustrates how hard this is and how fine the line is to get to a national championship event, let alone win it. Here's some numbers. This comes from College Baseball Hub. The most recent national title for all 8 teams in Omaha. You ready for this? Ole Miss 2022. That's the most recent. Texas, blue blood of the blue bloods in baseball.
Yep. Should be there every year, right?
Every year. What do they lack for? What do they want, and what have they wanted through the history of that baseball program? It's been as good as anybody. So they win it probably every year, right?
Sure.
2005, the last natty, if College Baseball Hub is accurate here. Oklahoma, 1994, the last time the Sooners won a baseball title. Georgia, you got to go back further, 1990. Troy has a D2 title, never a D1 title. Alabama never won a baseball college title. North Carolina, never. West Virginia, never. So look at that. You're right, Kyle. There's some blue blood athletic programs in this, and it's been decades since they've won this thing.
And again, it just speaks to the parity in college baseball with the way it's changed. I don't know, what was the year the regional format came along? 1999, somewhere in that era. And it's leveled the playing field because, again, we've talked before, you used to have to go win a 6-team regional and have an extremely deep pitching staff. You used to have you needed to have 3 or 4 pros, like the Clemson team that West Virginia went up against in '96, had 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. You used to have a deep pitching staff. Now you can win a 4-team regional, rest, reset, win a best-of-3 super regional, and it's a little bit more conducive to some of the programs like West Virginia, who's never been there before.
Yeah, and that super regional format's basically like a conference series. right?
Yeah,
and so
it's a
that
three-game
sets up for
series at the
programs
most.
like West Virginia that have really good starting pitching but may not have elite depth out of the bullpen. So, yeah, if you can fight your way through the regional, and we'll say the same thing here for this part of it. If you can fight your way through this regional on that side of the bracket and then set yourself up for a 3-game series, there's some great teams. And you're going to get, if you get a Texas or a North Carolina or somebody in there, so be it. But if you can get yourself into that position where it's a 3-game series, let's roll with those 2 starting pitchers that West Virginia rolls out at the top of the rotation.
Well, that's just why the first 2 games really, of the opening part of the College World Series, just like we saw the regional, are so important because West Virginia had to fight like, tooth and nail to play 5 and to find a way to get its pitching. But if you can win your first 2, or really advantageous, you may only have to play 3 to get on to the championship round.
So what do we know about Troy so far? It's a team with 30 losses, 37-30.
Right.
But again, played an incredibly difficult schedule. Played Mississippi State very early in the year. Played at Vanderbilt very early in the year. They played a series at Southern Miss and won one of those 2 games. So, again, in Alabama, they played the University of Alabama
multiple
times. So they played a very, very difficult schedule. They did play Marshall, by the way, and Marshall got a game from them. They did win 2 out of 3 in that series.
Played Georgia.
Yeah,
so
played Georgia.
They've played a few College World Series teams. Very good. They entered this tournament as an RPI 35. So this is a quality team as well. Heavy lefty lineup. So I'm interested if Max Yale gets the start. I would assume it's Chanson Cole again, guys, right? Because we've seen him open the last 2 sets. But it's a really heavy lefty lineup here. They don't strike out a lot. They put the ball in play. Defensively, they don't strike you out a lot. I find this interesting. They're not a power team either way, so they're not going to line up and mash home runs on you, and they're not going to line up on the mound and blow you away. That might play into West Virginia's hands in both of those ways, right? We know this is the defense that's the best in the Big 12. You saw it again in the Super Regional. And from a offensive standpoint, if you can get some contact, if you're not a big strikeout pitcher here, this lineup 1 through 9, if West Virginia's putting the ball in play and getting guys on base, that could create some challenges.
They've got a couple of big bats. They've got Jabe Boroff, a.k.a. Jabe Ruth. Jabe Ruth was one of the greatest nicknames ever of college baseball. The outstanding player in the Gainesville Regional, hit .500 in that regional, hit 4 home runs in that regional. And they've got Jimmy Janicki, who was their conference player of the year, who's got 85 RBI on the year, and one of 4 players in the country with 20-plus doubles, 15-plus home runs, 70-plus RBI. In fact, he's got in the 80s in terms of RBI. So
he's
those
really
are the
good
players.
Yeah, Janicki with 19 home runs. Baseball America has him 27th on their draft prospect list. Guess what? All due respect to Janicki, he's the second best catcher in this game behind Gavin. Here's what's great about Boroff, Jay Boroff. He's their Ben Lumsden. He has absolutely emerged here in the regional. He had 7 hits during the regular season. 7 hits. He had 10 in the regional. So he's a guy that has busted out 4 home runs during the regular season, 4 home runs in the regional. So he's really interesting. You've got 2 of the guys that have come off the bench and absolutely ignited their teams in Boroff and then in Lumsden. So that'll be a fun matchup with those guys.
Speaking of Lumsden, he has doubled his output in postseason play. He's got more hits, more runs, and obviously more home runs because he had 0 through the regular season. He is he's bested his regular season totals in all of those categories. He's got 10 hits and 10 walks in the postseason.
It's just outrageous. 7-game postseason hitting streak. Here's one from D1 Baseball. He had 16 total bases in the regular season. Okay? He had 9 on Saturday against Cal Poly. I mean, he's just blistering, absolutely blistering hot. 10 of 23, 435 combined in the regional and super. So second straight year, we've talked a lot about Ben. Second straight year, he has come in and absolutely given this lineup a jolt and some electricity, and he's been outstanding, so let's hope he can keep it going.
His only home run in 25 was at LSU in the super. Then he has 2 in 2 innings this past weekend in 3 total in the postseason. So what a great story for a guy who's just persevered and waited his turn and taken advantage when he got it.
He's been great. And we talked Friday, guys, about the success of 7, 8, 9 in this lineup with Kresser, Lumsden, and Ty Hall. How about how they finish up the super regional? Those 3 spots, 12 of 24, 500 on the super regional, 15 RBIs in 2 games from 7, 8, 9. That is a dominant performance from the back end of your lineup. And you do that, Kyle, you're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, absolutely. Text line is open, 304-TALK-304. Your thoughts on that. And when we come back, we'll get into the Sorsby thing, and I'm sure that'll just ignite the text line. And reaction to it has been pretty severe.
Pretty severe from not just a social media standpoint. We'll get into it. There's some athletic directors that are pretty strong and throwing out some pretty wild thoughts that we'll dive into and get your feedback on.
And an update from the state high school baseball tournament as well. 304-TALK-304. That's the text line. We are underway on this edition, the Monday night edition from the CityNet statewide sports line. We're in the Health Plan Studios, and we can tell you that CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet, probably right at your front door. Now's the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, citynet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. High-speed fiber internet is probably at your front door, and now's the time to connect. Your tax dollars helped expand broadband access across West Virginia, and CityNet makes it real. More rural communities in West Virginia can finally get the high-speed internet they deserve. With free equipment, free installation, no contract, and local support you can trust. So whether you're streaming, working, gaming, or running your business, CityNet delivers the speed and reliability you need. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
What do you know about hot dogs? Because we've been all about hot dogs this week.
I love hot dogs, and I love them with Miracle Whip.
Oh, God, I forgot. Never mind.
And onions.
Okay.
I actually, yesterday morning, I had a hot dog for breakfast at 6:45 with onions and Miracle Whip.
And with that, we'll be back right after this.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that they didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
CityNet statewide sports line. We're inside the Health Plan Studios, and we're glad you're with us. 304-TALK-304. We'll get to some early texts here before we jump into the Sorsby story, and I have a feeling that's just going to ignite the text line at 304-TALK-304. No Mountaineer player tonight. We generally have one on Monday, but they're together. A little bonding tonight. They're together having a meal after practice, and that started at 6 o'clock. So Can you imagine what the atmosphere in that dinner's like tonight?
All-timer, right, guys?
Yeah.
All-timer. You're with your guys. You know the stretch run's coming. There's no school. You're not having to worry about class or turning any tests, and you're headed to Omaha for the first time. Pretty awesome.
You know, I would imagine that their turnaround's got to be pretty quick. I mean, while they don't play until Friday afternoon, I assume they're going to travel out Wednesday. It's a practice day, interview day on Thursday, so you have to get this thing up and running pretty quickly.
Yes. You got to get refocused. You know, get the euphoria out of your system and get refocused. Also, we'll have special editions of the Sportsline from Omaha starting on Wednesday.
Yeah, we can't wait. We're going to get out there Wednesday as well, so we'll be out there and do a couple of Three Guys episodes from there and some live content. And then, yeah, you're right, every night on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, including following the game there on Friday, 6 o'clock, our regular time, we'll be doing Sportsline from Omaha. So looking forward to not only doing that from there, but seeing all the Mountaineer fans that travel out to Charles Schwab Stadium.
304 Talk 304. Texter says extremely proud of the baseball team and the win. Indeed, every Mountaineer fan is. Texter asks what evening the WVU feature ran on the NBC News. I've been trying to find it on their YouTube channel. Well, I can tell you, I don't know about the YouTube channel, but TJ Meadows at WVMetroNews.com wrote a commentary, and that is embedded in that commentary. So that's where I saw it for the first time. So he wrote that commentary on the 4th, so that leads me to believe that it aired on June the 3rd. But if you go to WVMetroNews.com and on the main page and go down the right-hand side, where it says Metro News commentary, TJ wrote a commentary saying WVU baseball is giving West Virginia something we need. And that feature, the entire feature, is embedded right in that commentary. So there's a place where you can find that. Texter says, never in my life did I ever think West Virginia would make the College World Series, and to have 2 blowout wins in the Super is amazing. I don't think my body was conditioned for stress-free wins with so much on the line. And that's a good point. 2, I don't want to say they were easy, but 2 stress-free games in a row.
They were pretty easy. I mean, I think you can go ahead and say it, Greg. I'm not sure it gets.
You still had to put the work in. You still had to get people out and make defensive plays and swing the bat.
They were effortless.
But it was stress-free.
Yeah.
Compared to the regional, that was a whole different feel.
Kyle, stress-free is good, but I'll give you easy if you want to go that route.
I mean, I'm going to stay with stress-free.
It was pretty amazing, and those were over early, guys. I mean, Sean Smith hit that 3-run homer, and you felt pretty good from there on out, and you just kept tacking it on, and then you got into Saturday, and, you just rolled right along.
Yeah. I mean, again, we should, we'd be remiss if we didn't, wish our best to all those who were injured in the storm on Saturday night. But other than that, it was about as perfect of a weekend. And I don't want to diminish what happened there, but it was about as perfect of a weekend as you can imagine.
Texter says, other than NIL and getting players, what do they need facilities-wise? And does this team have all the players with full scholarships, or do we need to bump the numbers up? Let's keep this rolling.
Yeah, the scholarships are in place. That was, I think, as we've said, guys, okay, in the coming years, that's going to continue to pay real benefit there as you're fully staffed or fully funded on that part of it with everybody on the roster getting a scholarship. I think it's just the NIL side of it now, just like it is with all the sports. There's not necessarily an end goal in that. That's just open-ended and get as much in as you can. Any businesses that want to support, that's what they can use, because now you've got the marketing behind you. Now you've got the branding behind you. Now you've got the cachet that's even in a better spot than it was the last 2 years. And now it's just going to come down to some extra dollars here and there help put you over the top with some of these guys.
And in facilities-wise, Brad, with the biometric center, I've been in their facilities building a lot. You have as well. Those are outstanding. I can't imagine. I mean, every coach could give you something in there. Within the stadium, everybody's going to talk about seating, but there are probably some things you could do with the berms to add some seating in those areas, and maybe some premium seating in some places. But it's not like you're going to put $20 million into that facility, because you're in pretty good shape in most areas.
Yeah, you're in real good shape. It's like everything now, guys. The priority becomes player acquisition, and to assist with that. And I've said it before, guys, this is a program in terms of baseball that is extremely well positioned, maybe as good as any sport at WVU in terms of the financial part of it. And you've got a window here that is open with that biomechanical center from a recruiting standpoint that's going to be different than anybody else in the country until someone else can figure out how to build a similar facility. So it's player acquisition over the next couple of years will really drive this thing.
Texter from Cincinnati says, local news here did a Fox interview with David Hagan. Local kid went to Moeller about the singing of country roads in his story up here. They made mention of Deuce McBride. We haven't even mentioned Deuce McBride's 2 wins away from winning an NBA championship. My goodness, that's game 3 tonight in the Garden, and it's been overshadowed in these parts.
Yeah, this College World Series stories has taken it, but Morgantown's about to be NBA Central as Joe Mazzulla wins it last year. Deuce about to close one out here for the second straight time. So you want to win an NBA title, Hunter, you better get a Mountaineer there somewhere on your sideline.
Yeah, just the 6th West Virginia alum to play in a NBA championship series. Obviously, Joe Mazzulla coached in one and won one, but 6 have played, only 2 have won. Jerry West won just one. It's still hard to believe that he won just one. And Jerome Anderson in the mid-'70s was on the roster for the Boston Celtics and won one. Those are the only 2 that have ever won one that were WVU alums. And now you're going to add it certainly looks like you're going to add.
Yeah, don't jinx him.
Oh, you thought it was going to be a jinx to put out the ticket information on the World Series.
No, I did not. I told you it wasn't. I said it was not. Our texter was beside himself. I said you were fine.
Texter, tongue-in-cheek, says, why is WV even bothering to retire Pat White's number 5 after the Brendan Sorsby ruling? Pat's already on campus. Find a friendly local judge to rule that he still has eligibility and suit him up. I'm sure he's got some game left in him. Well, let's get into that. A state court in Texas, a state judge has essentially overturned the NCAA ruling against Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby that made him permanently ineligible for gambling violations. And at least for now, this clears the path for the 5th-year senior to play for Texas Tech this year, minus a 2-game suspension. The first 2 games of the year. So this decision, if it holds up, and the NCAA has already declared they will appeal, it represents a defeat for the NCAA amid this situation, which seemingly continues to grow, the concern about gambling. So here is some of the reaction, and you will not see a stronger reaction about anything at any time than from Gene Taylor of Kansas State. And if you can imagine the worst 4-letter word that is used, he used it.
Yeah, it's blank blank is what he gave it. It's blank blank, Taylor told Yahoo Sports.
Now he went on to expound on that. He said, yes, it's blank blank. I know the kid has a problem. Well, get well and focus on your problem. It's absolutely devastating for him to be able to play when every other sport, no matter the level, deems an athlete ineligible or they are punished severely for betting on their team. We're not scheduled to play them this year. Again, this is Gene Taylor of Kansas State, but it's something we have to look at from a college football perspective. This is greater than the Big 12. And he also indicated that there has been talk among Big 12 athletic directors to not play Texas Tech this year if Brendan Sorsby's in uniform. Now, we're very, very early. This is only a few hours old, and we're still 2 months away from the start of practice, but 3 months away from the start of the season. So this could go in a myriad directions.
All right, there's a lot here, and to me, Greg, this is what we've been talking about for years. When I mentioned how the era of compliance has over and it ended, this to me is more about, it's a bigger picture than just gambling. It's one of those lines that has been drawn. If this is not deemed illegal or able to suspend a player for a season, what is? The betting on your own team, as he admittedly did. If that's not the line in the sand and you're able to cross that and do, then what makes you ineligible here? I think that's what administrators are now really concerned about. Is that was a pretty bright line, guys. There wasn't a lot of whole wiggle room there. There's not a whole lot of people that would disagree with that if you were doing that should be one of them. We can debate eligibility and years of eligibility and should you get your JUCO years back. We can have a reasonable discussion about that. I'm not sure there's anybody that would say betting on your own team is something that's, okay, well, that's not that bad. I think that's a unanimous one, and I think that's where administrators are going now, that if that gets overturned, what chance does anybody have at lines? And I think the criticism of Texas Tech is just that. In the old days, they would have wiped their hands with Sorsby so fast, they would have swallowed their losses and moved on and said, this guy is not worth that. We're not going to fight for that. And once that federal probe started with the Adidas stuff, we saw schools flip, and they started doubling down saying, no, NCAA, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong on that. And this is another chapter in this. But to me, this is the brightest line yet, where it's like, all right, well, what are the rules? We joke all the time there's no rules. I think this is pretty close to there are truly not rules in this. Let me give you one other thing here. And you mentioned that Gene Taylor mentioned about maybe you shouldn't play Texas Tech, and we'll see if that has any teeth or if that's just blustering. The Georgia athletic director backed that up as well, although he's not in the conference, so he can say all that stuff and doesn't have to actually put his money where his mouth is. But here's the Georgia president and the ex-NCAA board chair, Jerry Moorhead. Listen to this quote, guys. For anyone who has dismissed my previous calls for SEC rules of enforcement and the SEC institutions only playing each other, today's ruling is clear evidence why that may be the only path left for us. If Texas Tech has opened the door to allow this SEC and maybe SEC Big Ten conglomeration to push forward without everybody else, wait till you see people scream about that. So I think this is beyond Brendan Sorsby. I think this is a bright light that's being shown even brighter on this industry. And what are you going to do? What are your values here? Who's going to start following rules, if anybody? Because this one, guys, this is a hard one to understand.
Does impact West Virginia. The Mountaineers play at Texas Tech on November 7th. So this ruling directly could impact West Virginia if he's there. And I mean, Brad, you alluded to it. The slippery slope that you think, and it may not even be slippery, it may be just a pure water slide. Now, if this ruling goes through and stands, I mean, what is it? What is truly something that gets a program or a player?
In order to compete as an athlete in whatever level, professional sports or college sports, you generally have to give things up or concede things in order to compete. Gambling would be one. What's next? Someone can go out and say, take human growth hormone and then go to a judge and say, well, I'm addicted to how I feel on human growth hormone. I should be able to play now that I use this substance. I mean, it's all kind of on the same line.
That's what I'm saying. This was such an issue that had so much consensus. I don't know how this goes the other way. And so that's what continues happening here is you have some consensus on some issues, and that's the hardest thing to find in college sports. And yet the rulings keep going the other way from what most people, or in this case, it's almost all. I don't know anybody outside of the Texas Tech campus. And quite frankly, guys, there's got to be people on that Texas Tech campus that are saying, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And this one to me is just, it's a hard one to understand, and I think this has some ramifications coming. If it holds and he's able to play, if the trial is in fact pushed until after the football season, which it is right now, and he plays, this one to me is stunning. And listen, it's not just us saying this. You can line up with every major figure in college sports, and they're coming out saying, this is a stunning development. We are shocked that this was the ruling. The only people not saying that, Cody Campbell, the super donor with Texas Tech, Kirby Hocutt, the athletic director at Texas Tech, and anybody associated with that Red Raider program. But you're right, Greg, it is more relevant for West Virginia because Brett Yormark was pretty strong in his statement as well. What did he say, guys? He says there's significant ramifications across college sports for this ruling, and it, quote, created concern amongst our membership. And he's been consulting with, quote, key stakeholders on the issue. So this is big. This isn't going away, but it is a stunning ruling in this case.
Almost impossible to believe.
Almost impossible. If it weren't college athletics, it would be impossible to believe.
No doubt. 304 Talk 304, a little bit behind on a break. We'll take your texts on this. We'll take your texts on the Mountaineers. We've got a football commitment that we need to get into. We'll talk about that when we return as well. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program has been a huge success. High school juniors from all across the state have applied. We're down to 15 finalists. Now we need your help. Please go to WVMetroNews.com. Vote for your favorite finalist. By casting your vote, you can help determine who will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan. That includes room, board, tuition, and fees. Just log on to WVMetroNews.com. Click the Vote Now button and cast your vote. You have until midnight, June 14th, to help us change the life of a West Virginia student and their family forever. Cast your vote today by clicking the Vote Now button at WVMetroNews.com. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar is supported by Greer Industries, the West Virginia Hospital Association, ZMM Architects and Engineers, the West Virginia Farm Bureau, Friends of Coal, and, of course, Metro News. Vote now at WVMetroNews.com and help us change the life of a West Virginia student forever.
Communication is more than words. It's how we live and connect. At WVU Medicine Speech Therapy, our experts help children and adults improve speech, language, cognition, and swallowing. From stroke recovery to pediatric communication needs, we create personalized plans to help you move forward with confidence. Ask your provider for a referral. Visit WVUmedicine.org/outpatient rehab or call 855-WVU-CARE.
The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program has been a huge success. High school juniors from all across the state have applied, and we're down to 15 finalists. Now, we need your help. Please go to WVMetroNews.com and vote for your favorite finalist. By casting your vote, you can help determine who will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan. That includes room, board, tuition, and fees. Just log on to WVMetroNews.com, click the Vote Now button, and cast your vote. You have until midnight, June 14th, to help us change the life of a West Virginia student and their family forever. Cast your vote today by clicking the Vote Now button at WVMetroNews.com. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar is supported by Greer Industries, the West Virginia Hospital Association, ZMM Architects and Engineers, the West Virginia Farm Bureau, Friends of Coal, and of course, Metro News. Vote now at WVMetroNews.com and help us change the life of a West Virginia student forever.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hi there. A quick look back on spring. March, April, and May together. This period was the warmest on record for Huntington by 0.8 of a degree. Elkins tying the previous record from 2012 and 2024. Charleston, not a new record, but tying the second warmest spring on record. The days ahead of us will continue to be hot. Highs consistently 5 to 10 degrees above daily average. The only thing limiting how hot we get is some rain on the way. Wet weather building in from the west up until 8 a.m. Thursday, dropping off as we go east. Now, there is a stationary front to our southwest this evening, gradually seeing scattered showers and thunderstorms move from southwest to northeast through the evening, overnight, and into Tuesday. So communities to the east may be dry until the afternoon on Tuesday. Then additional showers and storms moving from west to east through Tuesday evening, overnight, and Wednesday as well. Not anticipating severe weather, but heavy rain and localized flooding is possible. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. A lot of areas will similarly be seeing some hot, humid, and stormy conditions in the days ahead. D.C., a high of 96 on Thursday. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast, staying very mild overnight for Moundsville, a low of 71, 89 here Tuesday. 86 Morgantown with some storms on the way. Going east for some cooler conditions overnight. Martinsburg 59 for a low, then upper 80s and low 90s for our Tuesday. Moorfield 91. Elkins 62 tonight. Looking toward Ripley and Parkersburg to hover around 70 for a low, and then some mid 80s here for our Tuesday. Marlinton, another cool spot with 59 for a low. Charleston 70 tonight, low to mid 80s in this part of this region for our Tuesday as well. Consistently very warm and active right now, trending with some dry conditions during the day on Saturday, but no cool down on the horizon.
CityNet statewide Sportsline. We're back inside the Health Plan Studios. Kyle, Greg, and Brad. We're going to get a quick update here from Dave Wilson because he's got work to do. I know we teased a football commitment, but we will get to that. Dave, good evening. How are you?
Hey, Kyle. I'm at the ballpark. I'm doing great.
It's a great day. No weather today, right? So 2 days in a row?
Yeah, fingers crossed we get through this last game coming up. It's been hot and muggy today, but, it's June in West Virginia. What to expect? But, yeah, no showers or storms yet. We got one more to go.
All right, so I know you're calling Independence and Buffalo. Frankfort and Lincoln, it's coming down to the final few outs, right?
Yeah, we're in the top of the 7th inning, and Frankfort stretched this one out a bit, leads Lincoln 6-1. A couple of crooked numbers on the board for Frankfort, and Frankfort pitching has been solid throughout this game, Kyle. Just 1 run and 5 hits scattered throughout the game for Lincoln so far.
And the games earlier today, Logan and Doddridge County, that was tight for much of the game. I know that's another game you were on, but Logan got the bats going late and won pretty comfortably.
Yeah, Doddridge got on the board first in that ball game, but Logan took advantage of some mistakes and a big fly in the 3rd inning. Rob Ball came up to bat, hit a 2-run homer, 390-footer off the scoreboard, which is well beyond the left field fence here at Jack Cook Field. That sparked an inning. Later in that inning, a wild pitch actually allowed 2 runs to score. Once Logan got that lead, Kyle, they just added to it later on in the ball game. They put 5 runs up in the 6th inning and won that one easily 10-3.
All right, so Logan wins. And then the first game of the day, I know you were doing talk line, but a lot of buzz around this one because it had a WVU commit, Caden Hines of James Monroe, against a fellow Division I signee, Braden Cover, who's going to play at Akron. He pitched Wheeling Central, or at least the first 5 innings of that game, and Caden Hines had some really tough luck late in that contest.
Yeah, late in the ball game, it's tied up at 1, bottom of the 7th inning, bases loaded, 2 outs, and you get a pop-up on the infield, and the shortstop there for James Monroe just lost it. He lost it in the sky. It falls in safely for a hit, run from third scores, and that's the difference in the ball game. But that was a great pitched ball game between those two teams, and Kyle, there was a lot of talk going into that. Don't sleep on James Monroe just because they were the 8th seed. They had Caden Hines, like you mentioned. Cover went for Wheeling Central, and it was a great battle. But Central moves on, going to face Logan. Logan, by the way, was able to keep their starting pitcher, Ivan Miller, under 75 pitches today. He'll be available on Thursday for the semifinals. So looking forward to a great matchup in round 2 in Class AA.
So a lot of added strategy here with this extended tournament. We saw the single A teams all played on Saturday. They're off now until Thursday. They can bring their pitchers back, and with a little maneuvering like we saw maybe with some of these double A teams, they can bring their guys back too.
Yeah, if you stay under 75 pitches, you only need 2 days rest. So if you can get an early lead, that's going to give these coaches something to think about. Can I get my guy out? Can I get him back on Thursday? I do not envy the AAA and 4A coaches because they got a lot shorter of a window to work with when they get down here. But if you're playing on Monday, you've got some maneuverability with the rotation if you can manage it and get your offense rolling. But as you know, Kyle, you got to get there. So if you got to ride your number 1 the whole way, that's what you got to do.
That's right.
But Kevin Gertz was able to manage the staff today.
Dave, thanks for the update. We appreciate it. We'll listen tonight.
All right, Kyle. Appreciate it.
Dave Wilson there. And again, the AA games, Wheeling Central beats James Monroe 2-1. Logan over Doddridge County 10-3. Frankfort in the 7th leads Lincoln 6-1. Tonight, Independence and Buffalo. Tomorrow, the AAA games. I'll be headed down Wednesday once the bracket for Quad A starts. So looking forward to a wide open, I think, Quad A tournament. 304 Talk 304, that's the text line. Greg, what about the football news today?
So yet another commitment for West Virginia. They're 15th in the football side of things for the class of 2027. This came from a wide receiver, and guess what, Brad? This kid can run.
Speed?
And he can really run. I mean, Rich has talked since he got back here, got to improve the speed. We've seen that throughout last year's class, and especially so much in this year's class. Well, Carter Davis of Gulf Shores, Alabama, right outside of Mobile, may be as fast as anybody in this class, probably faster. He's a 5'10", 5'11", 180-pound wide receiver. Really good numbers. He has the 7th fastest 60-yard time in the nation for a high schooler this past winter. His time of 10.54 in the 100 would have bettered anybody in the state of West Virginia by almost a half a second this past year. If you look at the state track meet results, I mean, that's how fast this kid is. Won the Alabama 60 in the indoor state meet down there. And like I said, that kind of speed gets you the attention of a lot of people, especially the locals and the SEC. Alabama was involved. Auburn was involved. It looked like it was probably not only West Virginia, but LSU and Mississippi State making the biggest run at him. But he had visited West Virginia not long ago and said in his social media post that he really was intrigued and really it was enthused by what he found in Morgantown and has given a verbal commitment to the Mountaineers. Like I said, played some running back in high school, or playing. He's was only finishing up his junior year, so he's got another year at Gulf Shores, but almost certainly it's going to be a wide receiver at West Virginia. But yet another speedy one. We talked about a couple of those over the course of this recruiting cycle, and he's as fast as any.
Keep stacking speed.
Yeah.
Can't have enough speed. To the text line we go. Texter says Pete Rose bets on his team, gets a lifetime ban. Brendan Sorsby does that and gets a 2-game, quote, suspension, which conveniently ends just in time for conference play. So Abilene Christian and Oregon State are the first two games of the year for Texas Tech. Game 3, they open up Big 12 conference play against Houston. Texter asked, Weston Anderson won championships. Who were the 4 that lost?
Hot Rod, Bobby Joe Smith, Fritz Williams.
Okay.
So there are 3 that never won one. Like I said, there were 5 total prior to Deuce that have played in one.
He would be the 6th.
Correct.
Texter says, this is what dreams are made of. WVU in the College World Series. Omaha, here we come. We also have a legit shot. Horses on the mound and legit athletes up and down the lineup. Oh, yeah, and the best catcher in the country. Let's go.
He's the best catcher or best second baseman?
Yes. Yes. It will be interesting, though. This is a big park, guys, right? This is historically a big park, so it's interesting that West Virginia's home run ability, although it was on display in the Super Regional, has maybe been one of the few weaknesses in this group. You can't just, most games, just easily win it with a couple 3-run bombs, but there's going to be some gaps in that outfield. So, number one, defensively, can you close those gaps off, right? If Troy's going to be a team also that puts the ball in play. But I'm interested to watch West Virginia's base running prowess and hit the ball and move and take extra bases, how that works in this large stadium there at Charles Schwab.
Armani Guzman needs one more steal to become the all-time leader, tied with Victor Scott.
Yeah,
Single season.
38.
First time he gets on, just mark it down.
Exactly. He's gone.
Just a double.
Texter says anyone who's complaining about the lack of rules should blame Sean Alston. There's always a WVU connection. Well, that was
one.
To get players.
That was extra dollars.
Yes.
Sean Alston was extra dollars. We're way past that now. Then the Raekwon battle was actually the one that more people actually look at and say that kind of opened the floodgates for transfers. This is a whole different deal. This is a whole different, like, just throwing your hands up like, okay, there isn't any. There just isn't any.
Texter says, speaking of Jerome Anderson, as a kid, I went to a WVU basketball camp headed by Sonny Moran at the old Greenbrier Military School. Jerome was voted the most outstanding player after he had food poisoning the first day. So a contemporary there of Jerome Anderson.
Mullins, West Virginia native, and boy, he was, great high school player, could have gone anywhere, came to West Virginia. And there were a lot of guys down in that part of the world, Maurice Robinson, Warren Baker, that idolized Jerome Anderson and came to West Virginia specifically because he blazed the trail.
Congratulations to the Mountaineers outscoring Cal Poly 29-3 in 2 games. Hope everyone is okay from the storm Saturday. Let's get win number 46 on Friday, says the Texter. Texter says, couldn't other states make laws that players who are guilty of gambling on their own games not be allowed to play in those states? Well, that's interesting. I mean, this is a state judge ruling in Texas. Could a state judge in Colorado, in Ohio, in Oklahoma rule that that player is ineligible or put a restraining order against him playing?
I don't. I mean, why would? I mean, they'd have to have a reason to do that, or the legislature would have to do that. I don't know enough about that. I don't know why they would. I'm surprised. I'm just surprised this was the ruling.
Yeah,
I just am. The persuasive argument, I guess, by the other attorneys had to be something to behold, but it's a pretty clear line in the sand against your organization's rules. Not quite sure how that one gets through.
Yeah, well, circuit court judges are voted into office.
So you're saying that's how it got through?
Yeah, Lubbock County Circuit Court judge rules in favor of somebody in Lubbock County. Not a surprise.
Texter says, as if the NCAA and college athletics weren't enough of a mess. It continues. Question, with the success of the baseball team, how much will next year's roster cost? How much will it take to retain Gavin Kelly? All good questions.
All good questions.
Very good questions.
You know, the one thing I'll say is we're already seeing a lot of commitments from various transfers and such to West Virginia. I mean, Steve Saban is not changing the path that he has followed in the past in terms of he's still going after kids from smaller programs that, just like they've been so successful with here. So he's not going down there and plucking guys from Alabama and outbidding for those guys or from wherever. He's going to use the model that's been so successful for them.
He should. I mean, they have been elite at evaluation, but I think where those dollars help is there's no doubt Gavin Kelly's price in February coming into the season is not the same price it is now. So to me, from a baseball perspective, the biggest importance for the dollars is on your retention for your guys, right? To make a compelling argument to Armani Guzman instead of entering the draft to be able to stay, to up Gavin Kelly, Chance and Cole. And all of those guys. To me, it's retention when you've got a team like this.
Texter S, who's moved into the number 3 pitching position? Well, that'd be Dawson Montesa.
I don't know. Ian Korn? It's one of those two.
Yeah. That's what's nice, right?
Yeah.
Flip a coin there.
Yeah.
Flip a coin.
304 Talk 304. We need to take our final break. We'll be back. This is the CityNet statewide sports line. We're inside the Health Plan studios. Since 1979, the Health Plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric for over 4 decades. They've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The Health Plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps, and never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Final few seconds on the show. I apologize we didn't get all the texts, but we'll certainly be back tomorrow, and we'll get to more, but we appreciate your time. Here's an interesting question. We probably do a whole show on this. How much credit does Mr. Kendrick get for this run? Great deal of credit.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people, all the people that contributed to the program in NIL. There's some other big donors as well that are not as name famous as Ken Kendrick, but certainly, his support has been invaluable, as have so many people associated with that program.
Texter says, I think WVU's bracket is winnable. Win our bracket, roll the dice against Georgia or whomever is in that final series. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. Brad and Hoppy and Tony are headed for Omaha, so we'll have Sportsline live from the College World Series later in the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. For now, thanks for listening and watching. We're back tomorrow.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the MetroNews Radio Network. All rights reserved.